Alright, so I'm going to try this again. I'm going to take these rings that are all finished now. I have a whole bunch more, but they're not finished. And take them out and put them back in the die. Take them out to the garage and put them back in this die and see if I can get some more consistency out of them, because they're very inconsistent. And the problem is I don't want to have to make each and every piece of leather fit these inconsistent rings. So for instance, this piece of cork fits the bottom ring pretty well, but it doesn't fit the top ring so well. Top ring has this pointy part, and the bottom ring is more rounded. So the rings aren't consistent, and I don't want to have to cut each and every piece of leather very carefully so it fits right up snug against this ring. I don't want to see the handle behind it. It needs to look professional, so I need to get more consistency with the rings. So I'm going to put them back in, some of them anyway, back in the die and see what happens. And now that they're welded together, now that they are in fact rings, maybe they'll be more consistent. I also made some templates, just drawing them out on graph paper, thinking I could try them on this piece of aluminum. Remember this. This is the aluminum into which the handle slides. So I use that to make this little guy here. See, make sure I'm still on the camera here. It's just a quick little cutout. Actually, I used a Dremel to cut it out, so you can see I didn't do such a great job. But that fits on pretty well. And that's a possibility. Something like that. So if I can get those, if I can use one of the templates and somehow, maybe with a small vise to hold the aluminum straight and even while I put it through the bandsaw, maybe I can cut a bunch of these consistently, and that way I can use that same template that I used to make this to make the leather pieces, and they'll all go together pretty easily. So that's my goal, is consistency and repeatability. So I'm going to run out and I'll let you know how that goes. Alright, I think we're making some progress. So I took all of the rings out and I fed them all through the die again. And I feel like they're much more consistent. It's hard to tell in the picture, I'm sure, but I feel like they're much more consistent. So I took the little, one of the little templates I had that was very close to the rings. I had made it from the rings the best I could. And I cut out some poster board, and I turned them into spacers, or whatever we're going to call them. That will be the leather will be that shape. And I figured with the length of the height of my hammer, how much of the handle is going into the hammer and how much should be left. I wanted the amount I had left to be about 12 inches above the hammer. So, and I counted the rings in a lot of the recreations, a lot of the licensed ones, and they were 9 or 10 and occasionally 11. Sometimes the last one, the 10th one, would be underneath the pommel. I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that. So I went ahead and made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these. So this is how it looks. I think with the consistent rings, it looks pretty good. You know, not perfect, of course. I just kind of taped them together. But really, I'm pretty happy with that. If I build the leather out to build these things, the real ones, out to just shy of this 3/32, then I think that's going to be a nice handle. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the pommel yet. That's going to be tough. But here we are. So I think I'm really happy with this. I like the little they kind of have a twist, don't they? But I can fix that. They have a nice little V in them. I think it's going to look really good with some brown leather. So yeah, there you go. How do you like that? All right, that's I think that might be all for today. One more time. Ooh, look at that. There's the money shot. Oh yeah, one more thing. So I did not bring the real handle out to the garage to put it in the die. I don't know that it would fit in the die anyway. I don't think it does. There's the die, and it doesn't really fit in the die. So I used the temporary handle, and after pounding these into the die, they're a little small to fit on here. Some of them are really tight, and I couldn't quite get them on. So I just threw them in this little vise here, and gave them just a bit of a turn, just to squeeze it out a little bit, and then they fit. So that one might need a hair more, but that's how I've been dealing with that. All right then. All right, so I'm realizing I'm doing again and not filming, so the whole point of this is to provide a video that I couldn't find, which was somebody showing every step for somebody else to follow. So I'm not suggesting I'm suggesting you're gonna do better than I am, but at least I'm giving you a framework, how I figured things out and what I'm doing. So, where do we get the leather for the handle? Because we're close to covering the handle, and I cut out, let me get those, hang on, sorry, walking in front of the camera again. So I took my little piece of aluminum that I showed you, and I cut out two of these. They're slightly different. One is, well, they're pretty close, but they're whoops, not even in frame. Pretty close, but there is a difference. This one's more swoopy, and this one's, I don't know. Anyway, there they are. So those are possibilities because they fit right on the handle. And I cut them out over on my wood cutting bandsaw. Let me show you that, another Craigslist find over there. So I took the piece of, my problem often is cutting. I'll make a design on this, let's say, pretend this piece of, let's pretend that's aluminum, and I'll try and cut it on the bandsaw, but it often turns, and so the piece will be much thicker over here and stupid thin over here. So what I did was, I'm going to walk in front of you again, getting off on a tangent, but that's okay. So I took my piece of aluminum, might as well get the aluminum. I took my piece of aluminum and I put it on the flat surface of the table of the bandsaw. And then I took this, I got this on eBay, I think it was like, I don't know, 10 bucks or something. It was pretty cheap. And luckily, the jaws are deeper than this is, deeper than that is wide. They're a little more than an inch and a half. So, I put this flat on the table, I put this down over it, and then I was able to tighten it up. And now when I put the jaws flat on the table, it keeps this from rotating. So I can feed it through whatever angle I want, and as long as I keep the jaws flat on the table like that, then the top and the bottom are the same. So it comes out pretty good instead of all lopsided. Anyway, so that's a bit of an aside. What I was doing was working on this leather. And I went to we had to go to 2 different thrift shops. But we found 3 or 4 different leather jackets. And they were $6 a piece. I think one was $10. They wanted 10 for one, but I bought it anyway because I liked it. But there's different, you can see all the different leather that I have here. There's a black one, there's this color, that's kind of nice, I might use that color. Sorry, this color, I might use that one. I like this one too, and then there's a much darker one that I got crap all over, because I glued it to some denim. It's really, a lot of it's pretty thin. I don't know if you can see how thin it is. But let's just show you. It's very, you know, really thin. I don't know. You can really get a feel for that. It's 1/64 of an inch or something. So we were going to donate some kids' jeans that they grew out of. So I cut the legs off of them and I laid them down on the floor, which is why that one is all dirty. Because I laid them out on the floor and used some spray glue on each, the back of the leather and the front of the denim, in order to stiffen it up and to give it more strength. So that's what I'm doing. Right now I'm cutting up these other jackets into strips. So I already have some of this glued up. I have some of this glued up, although I have to brush it clean if I can. I hope it's not permanently glued on there. So I'm cutting up these. I cut up a bunch of the black. I like this one. I could put it backwards and have it like a suede thing. This one is lighter here, but I kind of like this look. Maybe I could use this as a handle because it will match, although it's got a seam in it. I don't know if I like that. But if I just cut like a 3/4 inch, can you see that? I don't know if you can see. Yeah, so if I cut a 3/4 inch strip out of that, it's not really thick enough, but maybe. Yeah, it's not thick enough. So I'll just cut that and get some more strips out of it. And whatever I use, whatever I decide to use, then I will take the template, let's say that one, which is one of the ones from one of the rings I just showed you. That one? This one. It's the template from this ring here. Yeah. So if I decide I like that one, and I'm going to use that one, then I would take this template and I would lay it out onto the, let's say onto the one that I glued to the denim, and I would trace it out however many times I needed it, and then cut them out. I still have not determined what we're going to mount the leather / denim to. I want to have some stiffer, thicker thing. I have that aluminum coming, but you know, we'll see. So anyway, that's where we are with that. Just wanted to touch you up on what I was actually doing rather than skipping ahead. All right.